Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick off NXT tonight, not in usual fashion. We're kicking it off with Andrade Cien Almas, and Andrade Cien Almas is absolutely livid. Absolutely livid from what happened this past Friday. And the only words that I understood was Brooklyn and Bobby Roode, and the way that Andrade Cien Almas sounds, he does not sound happy. And there is Bobby Roode making his way down to the ring here on NXT. Explosive start to NXT. A livid and angry Andrade Cien Almas. Whoa, Roode and Almas. And oh, Fandango. I remember Zelina Vega dropped Fandango as a manager, as a client, and Bobby Roode and Roode, glorious DDT. Everything is just happening so fast. And Bobby Roode gave Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega a proposition before absolutely just dropping Andrade Cien Almas. And he didn't have any time to accept, but there's Johnny Gargano and the general manager of NXT, Shawn Michaels. And he wants his hands on his Tommaso Ciampa. He did tear his ACL, did Tommaso Ciampa. Johnny Gargano still, like a usual, it's like somebody who would, not happy that Tommaso Ciampa turned his back on. Wait a minute. It's Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa becoming all the more creepier. But there's Drew Gulak in the ring, and he's set to go one-on-one with the #1 contender for the NXT Championship, Apollo Crews. And Apollo Crews set to go one-on-one with Drew Gulak here ahead of his clash with Jinder Mahal at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. It's going to be a match for the behemoths, the alphas, as you might add. Jinder Mahal in the best shape of his life, in the best he's ever been here in the WWE. And then you have Apollo Crews, the rising star. And Apollo Crews has had some setbacks in NXT with the likes of Hideo Itami, Samoa Joe, and even Jinder Mahal himself. But Apollo Crews is ready for the challenge at hand. Ready for the challenge that he has to face at TakeOver Brooklyn in a week from Saturday. And Crews, last time we seen him in the wrestling ring. Last time we seen Apollo Crews in a ring wasn't that tag team match. This is one of the first matches of Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak trying to make an impact on NXT. Oh! Gulak with a knee right to the kidney. Oh! And he says he's the best wrestler. He defines what a wrestler is, not Apollo Crews. Oh! And Gulak with a clothesline right to the back of Apollo Crews' neck. And Apollo Crews might not be thinking about the task at hand. Just thinking about Jinder Mahal right now. Thinking about the NXT title. Thinking about the opportunity that he has at Brooklyn. And now, Drew Gulak stomping at the ribcage and now gonna stretch. Gonna wrench on Apollo Crews' shoulders. Trying to rip the shoulder blades apart. And now Drew Gulak. Gulak now, but great counter by Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews with the strength advantage and the size advantage in this contest. splashes on Drew Gulak. Could have broke the ribs of Gulak. Gulak shy of 205 pounds. And now picture perfect drop kick. And this is what Jinder Mahal has to worry about at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Despite Apollo Crews being extremely powerful, he can still move like a cruiserweight. And now Apollo Crews showing his prowess, showing his power with a stalling suplex, and he brings Gulak down. And like I said, not only could Apollo Crews just has the strength advantage over most of his opponents, he can also move like a cruiserweight, dive over the ropes, jump, do drop kicks, backflips, moonsaults. That's what Apollo Crews can do, and that's what makes Apollo Crews so dangerous. And now Crews has Gulak and a Death Valley driver. Drops Gulak right onto his head. And now Crews. Perfect position. But Drew Gulak saw it coming. Drew Gulak sees his size to get over Apollo Crews with a drop kick. Drops Apollo. And Apollo with a kick of his own. Apollo now with an elbow. And Apollo with that wheel kick. And wait a minute. There goes Jinder Mahal, the NXT champion. And I don't think he's going to be phased by Apollo Crews one bit. I don't think Apollo Crews is going to be phased. And a shoulder tackle. Apollo Crews. And a moonsault. Colliding with the ribs of Drew Gulak. Did Apollo. And now going to throw Gulak over the top rope. And now Apollo Crews sees. He sees what's at hand. And oh my God, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Apollo Crews able to move like a cruiserweight. And Apollo Crews sees Jinder Mahal on the ramp. He sees Jinder Mahal watching his match against Gulak here. And this is what Jinder Mahal has to worry about. This is what Jinder Mahal has to... right to the ribs. That's what Jinder Mahal has to face at Brooklyn for his title. And a kick out by Gulak, but Gulak, he's just dazed. Gulak is dazed. He's totally dazed here. And now Apollo Crews with the neck. And Gulak now gonna fight. Gulak now again, well scouted again. And now Apollo Crews has Gulak, and he's looking for the Crews control, and it connects. The Crews control connects. 1, 2, 3, and Apollo Crews gets the victory here on NXT. Absolute amazing performance by Apollo Crews. And Apollo Crews with that sit-out powerbomb, able to put Drew Gulak in the gutter. And Jinder Mahal not happy one bit. Not happy with the result. And Jinder Mahal is going to go to the back where he came from. And Apollo Crews might just be ready. For the NXT Championship. In a week from Saturday at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, Apollo Crews could put that dream of being NXT champion right into motion. Huge victory for Apollo Crews. I don't know what that was all about. Aleister Black saying that Hideo Itami will be relieved of his sins at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, but we're gonna shift to some women's action, and here comes Alexa Bliss, Little Miss Bliss, 5 Feet of Fury, and Alexa Bliss is set to go one-on-one here on NXT. Last time we saw Alexa Bliss, she was eliminated from that triple threat pack challenge where she competed against Nia Jax and Bayley. She was the first woman eliminated out of the trio. And that's the last time we've seen Alexa Bliss. We haven't seen Bliss on anywhere. And Alexa Bliss set to make a name for herself. Set to at least put away the person she's facing. And oh no. Well, you had the perfect opportunity, Alexa, to make a name for yourself. To put yourself in the NXT Championship contention. Because you're going one-on-one with the Empress of Tomorrow, the NXT Women's Champion, Asuka. And Asuka, in a week from Sunday, set to defend that NXT Women's Championship against Bayley. Asuka versus Bayley 3 is going to be in Brooklyn. And it's going to be a fight for the ages. And Asuka set to go one-on-one with Alexa Bliss here tonight. And I think Little Miss Bliss is going to feel overwhelmed in the next couple of minutes. Because you're going against the Empress of Tomorrow, one of the most brutal women wrestlers I've seen in my day. And Asuka is not a woman to mess around with. Not a woman. Not a woman to play mind games with. It's not. Asuka will knock your teeth straight down your throat. Asuka set for in-ring action here tonight. And I don't think Asuka forgot last week when Bayley hit Asuka with that belly to belly. I don't think Asuka forgot. And Asuka's set to take out all her anger on Little Miss Bliss, Alexa Bliss. Both women collar and elbow tie up. Alexa Bliss pushing the NXT Women's Champion to the ropes. And our official has to break it up at all. And Alexa Bliss with a cheap shot. Alexa Bliss with a cheap shot. Oh, and a drop kick. And it caught Bliss. And now Bliss wants nothing to do with Asuka. Oh, and now Bliss now with elbows. Oh, what a chop by Bliss. And Bliss now with a hip toss brought the NXT Women's Champion down. And now Alexa Bliss. Oh, and a great counter by Asuka. And Asuka, you know, has to have Bayley on her mind. After that attack Bayley did, after that attack, and now Alexa Bliss trying to play mind games with the Empress of Tomorrow. It's not a good idea, Alexa. Not a good idea! And that's exactly why! Asuka just smacked the taste out of Alexa Bliss's mouth with that open palm strike. And Asuka's gonna soar! And Asuka soaring in the air. And Alexa Bliss not in a good way. You played around with Asuka. And now Asuka's angry. And now Asuka with the German suplex. And Alexa Bliss was dropped right onto her head. And now Asuka. And that's exactly why you don't play mind games with Asuka. She's gonna break you down. She's gonna kick your teeth down your throat and a knee right to the temple and sweeps Alexa Bliss. And Alexa Bliss is feeling the fury of the Empress of Tomorrow. And Asuka with a kick right to the knee, followed by a kick right to the chest. It's like a knife. Feels like a knife going into your chest, that boot. And now Asuka brings Alexa down. And Alexa's not in a good way here. Oh! And a knee right to the spine. Caught Alexa on the spine. And oh, that kick could have broke the arm. Could have broke the arm. Oh, and Asuka still stomping away at Alexa Bliss. That's why I said it's a bad idea. Really bad idea for you to mess around with Asuka, and now you're feeling the fury. Now you're feeling the stiff kicks, the stiff punches, the stiff slaps, the elbows of Asuka. And now Asuka with the hip attack. Using her hip as a weapon. And Asuka just let go of that pinfall. I think she wants to do more damage. Wants to do simply more damage to Alexa Bliss. Ooh. Oh. And more kicks. And Alexa's in no man's land. Alexa's in no man's land now. Asuka has her locked. The Asuka lock. Asuka lock is in. Asuka lock is in. Arm is wrapped. And Alexa has no choice but to submit. Alexa had no choice but to submit to the Asuka lock. And Asuka is not playing any games ahead of her clash with Bayley at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Asuka taking no chances. Asuka playing no games with Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss tried to beat Asuka in a questionable way, in a questionable manner, trying to stay away from Asuka. But Asuka gets to you. Asuka catches you, and you have no choice but to submit. You only have three things to do. 3 things that you can do in that Asuka lock is either tap, nap, or snap. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Here comes Bayley. Here comes Bayley running down the ramp, and here we go. And this rivalry has exploded. Both of these women have respect for each other, but they certainly don't like each other. We need security down here. We need security down here. Definitely need security. And there's Andrade Cien Almas. And Andrade Cien Almas, and that's Fandango. Fandango looks terrible. And Almas not even going to answer the question. Sheer disrespect by Andrade Cien Almas. I know he's not happy from Bobby Roode, from that attack. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the main event of the evening. And here comes, in this triple threat tornado elimination tag team match, and the winners go to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn to take on the Authors of Pain for the NXT Tag Team Championships. And here come the Street Profits. And the Street Profits, the only thing they do is party. They party and they fight. Two of the things that they can do best: party and fight. And they're going to be able to fight for those NXT Tag Team titles tonight in this elimination tag team match. All 3 teams to themselves, and it's separate eliminations in this contest. So if one member of a team is eliminated, that member has to go to the back, not the entire team. So in total, about 4 or 5 eliminations have to occur in order for this match to be won. A team has to eliminate both teams to advance to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Big stakes here for the Street Profits. And we only seen the Street Profits a few times here in WWE. We haven't had a match her on NXT. This is going to be their in-ring debut for the Street Profits, and they're able to make an impression in this contest. That's most important. And they can even win the whole damn thing. They can even win the whole match and go to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. And TM61, they have history with the Authors of Pain, the NXT Tag Team Champions. You have to crown new #1 contenders. They were attacked by the Authors of Pain 2 weeks back on NXT, power bombed on the concrete floor, And you know Shane Thorne and Nick Miller, they're not 100%. They can't be 100% walking into this match. But who knows? They might just be. Nick Miller and Shane Thorne set for some tag team action against the Street Profits. And an unknown team. We don't know what team this will be. You know, the winners of this tornado elimination match will go to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn and challenge. But the real question is Team 6-1 100% from the Revival's attacks and the Authors of Pain's attacks? But here come two men who have already been at the top of the mountain. Two men who've already been NXT Tag Team Champions. The Revival. And if the Revival win this match, it's going to be deja vu for the Authors of Pain. They're going to have to go 2-on-2 with the Revival. A team that's known for limb targeting. A team that's known for picking at the leg and the arms. They've had hell of a matches with DIY, TM6-1, the American Alpha. And the Revival, they put Tommaso Ciampa on the shelf. They put Tommaso on the shelf for 6 months. It was announced by Shawn Michaels earlier tonight that Tommaso Ciampa is out for 6 to 8 months with that ACL tear that the Revival caused. So what team has the most momentum going into this match? It might just be the Revival. And it's a balls to the wall, all out brawl here. Anybody, it's 2-on-2. 3 teams going at it here tonight. Elimination rules. If one member of the team is eliminated, that member only has to go to the back. And you have another chance. You have 2 chances to make it to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn's card. And Miller drops the fist right onto the Revival Scott Dawson. The Street Profits are the biggest wild card in this contest. This is their first match here on NXT. We don't know. They might have a great showing against the Revival and TM6-1. And Montez Ford not in a good way here as Shane Dawson drops the arm right onto the mat. And you got Angelo Dawkins and Dash Wilder on the outside and a knee lift. Oh, and a kick and now dropping Dawkins. And now Montez Ford went right to Shane Thorne. And you got Nick Miller and Scott Dawson going back and forth. Oh, no. Right to the leg of Nick Miller. Scott Dawson now gonna turn his eyes on one half of the Street Profits, on Montez Ford. Oh, and Nick Miller right to the kidney. And TM6-1 actually gonna team up to take down Montez Ford and Scott Dawson. And we have Angelo Dawkins and Dash Wilder going one-on-one here. Montez Ford with a chop. Both members of the Street Profits now in the ring. And now Montez Ford drops the knee onto the arm, and on the outside, Scott Dawson and Nick Miller now back to the inside of the ring. All six competitors in this match are in the ring, and it's kind of hard to call. Absolutely hectic action. And now, it's anybody's ball game here. Elimination, which means that no team has to break up the pinfall. The only person that has to break up the pinfall is the other half of the tag team. And there goes Angelo Dawkins after that lariat right to the back of the head. Oh, a TM6-1 double teaming Montez Ford. And now Dash Wilder not in a good way here. And now the Street Profits got to team up to take down all members of the Revival. TM6-1 and the Street Profits teaming up here to take down the Revival. And Angelo Dawkins saves Montez Ford. And he drops the knee right onto the head to Nick Miller, onto Angelo Dawkins, Shane Thorne, and Dash Wilder on the outside, and Hurricane Rana. And Scott Dawson just watching the action unfold. It's anybody's ball game. It's anybody's chance to go against the Authors of Pain. And it's not that really good of a prize, but the prize, the most important prize, is the NXT Tag Team Championships. And now Montez Ford on the top rope. Montez Ford! Frog splash! Frog splash on Scott Dawson! 1, 2, and Scott Dawson's eliminated! Scott Dawson's eliminated from this match! Former NXT Tag Team Champion Scott Dawson out of this match first, and that's a surprise! A shocker to say the least! One half of the Revival and Scott Dawson is gone, and now Dash Wilder has to fend for himself in a spine buster of Montez Ford. Spine buster of Montez Ford, and Angelo Dawkins saves the match. And Dash Wilder now has to fend for himself, has to make it to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn on his own, and drops Shane Thorne. And he's holding his neck, and that might just be curtains for Shane Thorne, and oh my god. And Scott Dawson has to go to the back. He has to go all the way to the back here. No, Nick Miller! Power bomb! And Montez Ford still in this. And look at the stacked on each other. Thorne and Ford just stacked against one another. Miller on the outside, and you see Dash Wilder sees that there's no Scott Dawson. Doesn't have a partner now. Unlike the rest of the two teams. They don't have a partner. And Shane Thorne kicked Montez Ford straight in his skull. Oh my god, and a lariat. A lariat could have took D'Angelo Dawkins' head off, and a kick out at 2 by Dawkins. And what a rub for the Street Profits, able to put away one half of a former NXT Tag Team Champion and Scott Dawson. Montez Ford able to pin Scott Dawson and take him out of this match. And now Dash Wilder in a bad way. Nick Miller pinning D'Angelo Dawkins and a kick out at 2. And now Montez Ford now. And look at pinfall, and Dash Wilder's out. The Revival clean sweep. The Revival is out completely. It's out of this contest, and an elbow right to the side of the head, and he knocked Nick Miller all the way out. And look at this, the Spine Buster. Shane Thorne didn't see it coming, and Angelo Dawkins pins Shane Thorne. And the Street Profits absolutely sweeping the NXT Tag Team division here. The Revival is gone. Shane Thorne is gone. And now it's up to Nick Miller. He has to pin Angelo Dawkins, and he has to pin Montez Ford. Pin or submit both of those guys to have a chance at the NXT Tag Team titles. And now Montez Ford on the top rope. Drop kick takes both men out. He took his own partner out. Did Montez Ford, but it isn't successful. And he drops him with the DDT. Drop Nick Miller with the DDT. And is it curtains? Is the Street Profits going to take over? And they are. The Street Profits are going to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. In their first match here on NXT, the Street Profits eliminated more than half of the competition here. The Street Profits are going to NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. And they will go 2-on-2 with the Authors of Pain. What a victory for Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins.